Hi guys, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch. We're in my little vintage trailer, and I want to show you some of the foragings that I've got recently. I'm going to go through them one by one. This will be a long video. Very informative. So we'll go through all those foragings, but first I want to tell you about what I still have in my yard that I can forage and what I pick every morning I go out there. Every day, every morning, whenever I get a chance, I go out there and collect what I can for the rest of the year, because this is my income, what I grow and what I forage. So my Etsy shop is Juckshy Lady, and if you want anything there, just message me in the comments, because I don't know how to link it in the description right now. But I want to show you what we've still got that we can forage and what I foraged this morning. So we've still got huckleberries. They're kind of right at the end of their turn. There's a couple good berries, but some of them are just kind of starting to dry on the vine. Berries are, really prevalent right now. And then over here, we've got a bunch of magnolia bits. And so we've got leaves these are all lettings, except for a couple I'll show you over here. These are the magnolia leaves. These are the petals I picked that were kind of, discolored so that the white ones could shine through. And when you pick them, they start to turn color. These are the little velvets that fall down that are on the outside of the petals. And I use those, to like smooth over workings. I'm going to put, as you can see when you're watching this video, I'll put what's going on, what these things are good for when I edit. But I'm going to tell you some things I use them for, right? These are the seed pods that fall off. This one just fell off. You can see it's still raw and bright green, and it's not dried by nature yet. And they're just so intricate. Look, doesn't that look like a piece of fabric or netting? And, I do believe that these are the seed pods that make these little seeds, right? We're going to come back to those in a minute. So that's what these are. And I just think they're magnificent. I use them as little wands sometimes with those magnolia energies. And then here's one that's been dried by nature that I found on the ground. And again, you can see that little netting at that area. So two different ones there. These are the petals that were dried by nature, that were just on the ground, and as you can see, they do discolor. They're nice and white when you first pick them, and then they just start to turn right away, oxidization or something. And so then this one has a bunch of dried seed pods. When I pulled this petal, it was full of these little seeds from here. So we've got madrona like 5 ways, or excuse me, magnolia like 5 ways, which is cool. Those petals are nice just to leave little Herbal Alchemy offerings out in nature, and just let the wind or the animals take them away. Yarrow is still prevalent, and that's something that is really great in magical workings, especially like astral, psychic communication, etc. Lavender. This is an English lavender. Peas are beautiful in the garden. Crunch, crunch. And I'll show you some behind me that we've dried. Dandelion puffs. Those are big right now because dandelions are all kind of like tailing toward the end here in the northwest. This is white clover. It's at the end of its season. Blackberries just started here, which is fantastic. I'm so excited. These little buggers. There's so many green and red ones on the vine, but not too many black ones. And then this is a gooseberry. Those are good little buggers. Salal and salal berries, which apparently are edible. And they've got a 5-pointed star at the bottom of them, which is good for protection, creation, guarding against evil. Foxgloves right at the end. These are poisonous, guys. Remember that. They're very, very beautiful. We did a video just on foraging those with Lily. The apples are starting. They're not really ready yet, but these are just like, around here we have apple trees. Remember, when you cut an apple open, just like here, you're going to see like a 5-point star inside the apple. So again, the apple, not only for its benefits, which I'll put in the text here, also good for creation and protection. Now down here, there's a little aborted apple. It didn't grow, it didn't make it. And so I use those for infertility or to stop someone's pregnancy for them. And then right here, we've got some bay. Now this isn't bay laurel, it's a different type of bay. But again, in Cunningham's Encyclopedia, it just goes under bay. So there's all different types. And sometimes you'll get this type from me in your orders, and sometimes you'll get the big round ones from the grocery store. So there we are. That's what is still being harvested in my yard. You know, beautiful lavender, freshening up the place. And that's what we're still foraging kind of every morning. Other things from the garden as well. And over here, I want to show you and go through all of these things. It's going to take some time, so hang in there with me, guys. A bunch of roses. This is all rose specimen. These are some wild rose petals. These ones are pink. These ones are like a really light pink. Yellow. These are wild roses that I just found by the sea. I keep all of them. Even if I take the petals off, I keep kind of the bare ends. These dark ones are rose hips that have dried like that and kind of rotted on the vine. And I'll use those for the opposite of what rose is good for. So like breaking a love spell, you know, the opposite of rose. When something's rotted, I use it for the opposite because I don't get rid of it. And then I keep the leaves as well. I keep all these little, like I said, little rose buds. You know, those are still really good and powerful in the middle of an oil or something like that. Back here, you know, just dandelions are kind of at the end. There's some little puffballs in there too. Every part of the dandelion is edible and good for magic. From the yellow seed, you know, the yellow flower, to the puffball seed head, and we did a dandelion video just the other day, learned a lot about it, to the root, to the leaf, and they're all amazingly medicinal and magical. We got the very end of the daisies from the season. This is the last of the daisies, and that's the kind of flower we used in the He Loves Me Not folk magic working. Up here, we have some fern that I dried not in the dehydrator, just in a paper bag. It worked just fine. And some rose, they're not roses. It's a red bush that has really big, sharp thorns. So, where's my finger? See there? That's sharp as all get out. These thorns are sharp. And the plant's so red and so beautiful. So I use thorns for defensive magic. Shut up workings. Things like that, to create or to heal pain, and then red and color magic, because these are just so beautiful and vibrant. Maybe even like a lust working. Okay, down here, more roses, just the ones I was able to dry and keep them on the flower. There's a yellow one, a lot of little tiny pink ones. Over here, this is Huckleberry Leaf. It's I dried it into a big wreath, which is pretty cool. Huckleberries are on there too, as you can see, so they're just kind of dried on the vine. But you don't really see that till you get closer, do you? That there's actually dried berries in there. So again, when you get your 50 herbs or your 100 herbs or your 150 or your 200 herbs counts from me, these are the type of things that go in them, as well as, you know, things I don't grow or forage like clove, star anise, allspice, but it's always different. Now over here, I have some things that are really good for like folk and hoodoo magic, conjure, root work. And you know, this is corn. Our corn in the garden's not ready yet. This is corn that we've purchased. I keep these ends for like little poppets. I keep this to make a poppet out of it, and I keep this for like poppet hair or stuffing in a magical object. This is my favorite part of the corn to use for magic, to be honest. And then over here I have some more magnolia, which we talked all about in the beginning. But when sometimes the petals are like really bright, and sometimes they're real dark. But I love those like bright yellowy orange ones. Foxglove, y'all. Poison. Amazing, amazingly powerful. I love to use this in defensive magic. I'll put some information there for you. When it's dried, it's not as vibrant as we saw it before, but Very, very beautiful. We have purple and white over here. I do my foxglove two ways. I do it like this, where I've picked the flower off the vine, and then I dry it on the vine too, because sometimes it's nice to put a vine on your altar for some major protection. All right, let's go through this big table here. These are carrot tops. Again, when I put them in my dehydrator, they kind of dry into a wreath. It's pretty cool. But yeah, carrot tops, edible. And carrot I love to use for lust workings. So here is the big dried carrot root. I keep the dirt on. Carrot is amazing for, I believe, lust and fertility. We'll have it here in the words that appear on the screen after I add it. But a root is so grounding. So when you're doing chakra work, and to keep the dirt on is just fantastic. So that's why I do my carrots like this, and I don't wash them off beforehand. These are amazing for grounding. And also orange is the color of the sacral chakra, which is and these are connected with lust and fertility. So this makes a lot of sense. If you guys need to get pregnant, here we go. This is carrot seed. It's also edible. I've dried it so that you can still eat it. And this is amazing for pregnancy. More than avocado. More than, a lot of the other things that we use, in my opinion. And there's just so many parts to this. I just think it's beautiful. Sometimes the seeds are not open yet, and they kind of dry like this. And then sometimes they're open and almost look like a cauliflower type thing. Here's one for you to see. Those carrot tops. Carrot flower and seed. And so now that's the end of carrot, right? So we have the flower, the leaf, and then the root. Just like the dandelion, this whole entire plant is edible. What's in between this is a big stalk. It is edible, but it would be hard to chew. These are key limes. I like to use these in place of a key. So maybe in a road opener working, or just road opening a key entry to something. And so they're whole dried fruits. Some of them dry nice and plump. Some of them dry like this. They smell fantastic. Coming over here, we have some broken apart cement. Cement is solid, and this represents breaking down a foundation. So if you need to break down the foundation of something, I would use these little cement pieces. My 50, 100, 150, and 200 herbs that I bundle up for you guys, not are just herbs and spices, but are also little things that you can use for alchemy, like this. And when we come over here, like this. So here's some peas that we dried. They just came out of the dehydrator. They don't look as pretty as if we dry them just in the air, but that doesn't always work. You have to have the right situation going on for that to work. But look at the difference in the color. However, in here, we have the peas dried inside of the pod. And here, this is just the outside of the pod. This, if we would have dried it in the air, it would have rotted, I'm sure. So over here, we have some strawberry tops and leaves. So it's got some of the fruit, some of the leaf. This is pea vine. Now, if you get really close and you look, you'll see that it crawls and it grabs on and it leaches on like an ivy. So, think about something you need to hold on to, do a working to hold on to something, to attach to something, to bring two people together, something like this. I would use the pea vine and leaf, and this dried beautifully green. I was happy about that. Just some little cutie skins, some little orange skins that I'll use in my nature offering, probably because they're just not as... I like to sell orange with, like in wheels, and make it real pretty for your teas and stuff. And so I use those in my nature offerings. Not to say you wouldn't get it, but usually I only do the prettiest stuff in my orders. These are rusty screws and bolts. Just think hoodoo, rootwork, conjure. You can use the properties of rust. There's a lot of, metal energy in there. And use your imagination. Screw, right? So this could be for lust, or this could be for a revenge or something like that. Over here we have whole dried habaneros. If you guys get one of these from me, do not touch them with your hands and then touch your eyes or any other open orifices. They are hot and spicy. They're amazing for war oils and love workings, but don't anoint your skin with it if you put it in an oil. These are the outer leaves of the Brussels sprouts that we had for dinner last night. And, you know, Mom said, can you use those? I said, absolutely. So, and those dried nice and vibrant green. Coming back, we have a big pile of avocado here. We have avocado skins dried in quarters, and then we have avocado skins dried to hold herbs for an herbal working like this. Again, something I would put out in nature and let the wind blow the herbs away to activate my working. Avocado seed pits. Oh, God, you guys, I could go on about those for days. Beauty, lust, youth. Also, you know, you can use these for a beauty regimen when you take a microplane, which is a little fancy grater, and you grate those and you mix it with fresh avocado flesh. So the green and then the dried pit, and you put that on your face as a mask. I did a video on that a long time ago. Do you guys remember that? This is some thistle that was just growing in the yard, and it's perfect specimen. Thistle, again, defensive magic. I think it enrages snakes, but you'll see it in the thing below. And that's why I have the tweezers there, is because there's certain things on this table that aren't smart to pick up with your fingers. Holly leaf, great for defensive magic. Anything that's sharp, you guys, in my opinion, is great for defensive magic protection. Back here we have the roots from the grave of the raccoon that I buried in my witchcraft roadkill graveyard. And so we've got those, and they're actually cedar roots, okay? So they're going to hold the property of cedar, but the root in general, I'm going to have to do a video on. There's just so much to say about the root. Really precious stuff right there, you guys. Over here we have the thing that tomatoes on the vine come on, and it's just the 5-pointed stars, as you can see, right? So again, protection, creation, and tomato energies there. This is a pink dogwood flower. There are those magnolia seeds that showed up in the petals. These are lava rock, red lava. Different pink roses. We've got a bunch of different roses. White clover. Red roses. That's just lavender droppings. The little parts that fall off. Orchid. My mom has orchids, and when they fall off, we dry them out. Just in the air usually, but you could put them in the dehydrator. If you do, they end up like that. In the air, they end up like that. And back there, we have a purple hydrangea bush that my mom got me when I was really young. And it's all dried out and lovely. Great for hex breaking. Purple and color magic. Almost forgot to show you the witch's burrs. I have a special place I go to forage these. Sometimes they're dry and sometimes they're green. You can pick them either way. They dry a little bit differently. These ones dried by nature. And that one up there, I picked green. But these are great for defensive magic too. When you hold them up, they look like medieval weapons. Those throwing things where they just hit you with this giant spike. And they look more like it in this state. So those are great for protection, defensive, etc. Alright, moving down here, we have Rambotone Fruits. I got a whole box of them. Now, I have these both molded and not molded. So great for infertility because they look like bollocks. We talk about this all the time. I think it's hilarious. This is my idea. I'm sure other people have used it before. Witches of all cultures all over the world. But they do look like a pair of bollocks, and so you can use these for fertility, for infertility. You could use them for prostate workings or, you know, semen health. I don't know what people do with their time. These are yew shavings. Y-E-W, yew. Kind of looks like spaghetti squash. Smells amazing. Let me smell it really quick. Fuck, that smells so fucking good. I can't describe it. Hold on. Oh, God. I don't know. It smells like a clean male. Like a man who's just had a shower. I don't know. This is great. So I'll put all the benefits of you. I get these shavings from my uncle who creates wooden bowls. He didn't create this bowl, but he creates all kind of wooden bowls. And I'm dying to get some of those on my Etsy shop. He uses juniper wood, yew wood, cedar wood, olive wood, cherry wood, all different kinds of woods. And he's making me some handmade mortar and pestles, which I'm going to get on my Etsy shop. I'm really excited about that. But you could use this for the property of yew, Y-E-W, or you could use it for the properties of art, creation of art, inspiration, creativity, because my uncle is an artist and that's what that came from. And then over here, a bunch of dried lavender. I dry it with the stem still on. That way you can put them in a little vase when you get them if you like, you know. And that is it. Let's just take a big wheel look around of just what I have been up to lately. And summer, I just stock up as much as I can. You know, I get out there every day. I could have 10 times this much if I got out there more. So I'm really looking for a group of us to come together and be a little witchy family. Can't wait to see you guys soon. It's 11 lightning out there. Have a beautiful day, guys. Bye-bye.